Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another video. So in this video we are going to be covering a lot of changes to the 1,000 gallon Moray Eel aquarium. The first change will apply to the interior design. So about 2 years ago I changed the interior to something that looks like a drainage system, really hard on the eyes. The Moray Eels absolutely love it. It's basically a big playground. But about 6 months ago I started to look for ways to improve this because it looks really ugly, but I think I found something really nice that will still make this look a lot better, and also still accommodate the eels when it comes to their needs for hiding. And the second change will be to the tankmates. So we did remove the remora and the gray bamboo shark, and now that these two fish are out of the tank, we have a little bit of room to replace them with some other fish when it comes to the bioload and what the filtration can handle. So I will cover what fish I replaced them with, and hope you like the changes that I made. So I'm standing in front of the tank, and as you can see, it's pretty overgrown with algae. This is definitely not a tank that is for everyone. Looks like, a drainage system in my living room, and to be honest, it has gotten a little bit old, to look at this. It's been like this for almost 2 years now, and so I started to slowly, look for ways to make this a little bit more appealing, a little bit easier on the eye while still accommodating the needs of the Moray eels. And yeah, so over those last 2 years, I noticed, what areas of this pipe system the eels usually use the most. For example, they never use this area right here. They rarely use this area down here. When I'm feeding from up there, they're sometimes in this pipe to be closer to the food. And here you can see the giant moray. He likes this pipe, but he doesn't use it every day, but he does like it. And then this area here is probably used the most because it's close to the wave maker, and the Moray Eels like the waves. That's why the giant moray is right there by the flow of the pump. The eels usually like to be in the upper part, and then the one shark that I have, the white spotted bamboo shark, is at the bottom, of course. But I did see him actually come out from the center, so he's not only at the bottom. So, and as you can see here, I have some fish, some new fish here that I will cover later when I'm done with, cleaning this up, making this look nice. What can I do to make this look nice? So I really thought about this a lot. What can I do to accommodate the eels as well as these new angelfish? And what I decided to get is what you see down here. So this is a 3-piece coral insert, or fake coral. So the first piece ends here, and then this piece ends, where does it end? I think here. So it's really hard to tell. And then this is the third piece. So I chose this because this will provide a lot of, opportunities for territories for the angelfish, and it's, a really good design for the eels to also go through underneath. So this material is also, like rubbery, so it's not, rock solid where the eels could, hurt themselves. It's really soft and rubbery. And so how do I combine, these fake corals with this aquascape? So what I'm thinking about doing is, if you come here to the side, so I'm thinking about basically removing everything from here to the left. So all these pieces that are, mounted to this pipe all the way to the back, so everything from here forward is going to be removed, except for this upper piece here on each end of the tank, because this is where the viper moray likes to hang out, and other eels too. They like to be up high and look down. And so once these front pieces are all gone, then I will have enough space to put this coral insert in front of the pipe system basically. One thing I have to keep in mind though is this bulkhead. So this is the drain. This right here is the one of the returns for the closed loop system. This is the second one, and this is the third one. So I know that for this piece already, I have to basically stick it on top of this drain, and from now on, after I have installed this going forward, I have to drain the tank in a different way instead of opening the bottom drain. And for this last return for the closed loop system, if I put this on top of it, I basically have to shut that off so that the closed loop system is only these two openings there. So yeah, it's a little bit experimenting here and there, but I think this is a good way to accommodate both species of fish. And the Moray eels, when they get a little bit bigger, I may revisit this pipe system once more. I do know of a video where somebody has created basically a similar aquascape, not as big as this, but basically used a bunch of cement over the pipes and then started to install like fake little corals. So if I was to do that with the remaining of this pipe system in combination with this, it may actually blend in a lot better, because otherwise I'm a little bit worried that I basically have two aquascapes standing next to each other, not really blending in with one another. But we'll see. I had something similar in the past with black ABS piping and on the top, and then a mountain of rocks on the bottom. I had that for the first 6 months or so of this tank. I eventually had to remove it because there was too much dirt accumulating at the bottom. So this is much nicer with the open flow, and this fake coral will maintain that ability to keep the bottom clean. And I think the shark will actually like it to go through this. So this may not be as bad as you may think right now. So yeah, it's a lot of work, not as much as before, but basically I'm just removing this. These things are really, really heavy, by the way, so this is not going to be easy to lift this over the tank and not damaging these pieces. So but yeah, I will once I remove these pieces, and because I'm leaving these top pieces on, what could happen is that this whole thing will fall forward. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be installing a magnet with a hole where I can put a string through and basically string it to the back and mount it to the tank, to the stand. And this will keep this from falling forward. And yeah, other than that, it should be pretty simple. So let me get started, and we'll pick this camera up in a minute. Okay, so I drained a bunch of water and I removed all the PVC that was sticking forward. And as you can see, there's still a whole lot of PVC in there, so the eels will still have a lot of hiding opportunities. And while I was working in here, and still, as you can see, none of the eels are out. So they are all hiding in the pipes. Very shy fish. I have 6 Moray eels in here, 2 big green morays, a tessellata, a giant moray, a zebra moray, and a viper moray, and none of them are out. So everyone is basically stuck or hiding in this bottom pipe here that goes all the way across. So and the shark, actually. So the shark is also gone. So yeah, was not that dangerous for me to work in here as I initially was worried about. And yeah, so we have a lot more swimming space now. And yeah, let me show you actually how much PVC this actually was from here forward. So I have a 300-gallon Rubbermaid tank. And as you can see, it was a whole bunch of PVC. So this will free up a lot of swimming space. And I also did a freshwater dip for 2 of the angelfish that I will show you later, because I think they had gill flukes. So the fresh water will make the flukes fall off. And yeah, now it's time to install these coral inserts, and then we will see how this tank looks. Okay, so it's about 24 hours later, and this is now how the tank looks. And yeah, it's a very different look. I personally like it much better than how it looked before. So now we have some coloration in the tank, and not just white pipes covered with algae everywhere. So it's a lot more pleasing to the eye. And yeah, so as I showed you earlier, the amount of PVC that I removed was quite a lot, and I was interested to see how the eels will react to that. So as you can see, there's still enough piping for the eels to spread out. So here we have the Brazilian green, here we have the giant moray, below that we have the tessellata, and then here we have the Caribbean green moray next to the zebra moray, and somewhere is the viper eel. So we also have, this bottom section that goes all the way across. So there's still enough space for the eels to, separate themselves from each other. But it is noticeably less pipe work now in the tank. I would say, 50% less. So yeah, I didn't realize how much PVC was in this tank. So probably about 70% of this tank was just hiding, and then the rest swimming space. So now it's a lot more swimming space. And yeah, so one thing for me to check now is whether or not the eels will go on a hunger strike, which is common when you make drastic changes to the interior design. They need to get used to it. Also, I need to check for aggression, because if this change happened to have stressed the eels out, then there may be some aggression. I usually look for the two greens to become more aggressive to each other, because these are the ones that usually spar with each other every now and then. But here you see, a damsel already making use of this nice coral reef. So I wanted to put this in order for the angelfish that I got to spread out, for each of the angelfish to claim little territory in this coral insert. So let me go over quickly what I got. So we have a French angel, a queen angel, emperor angel, a flagfin angel, a pilot fish. I need to get some more of these because this is a schooling fish. And then some mollies that I acclimated to salt water. I do have a young Koran angel that you see there. So this is the typical coloration for a young angel. A lot of angelfish look actually exactly like that, and then they change when they get bigger. And then somewhere I also have a regal angel. He's hiding right now. He's a more shy fish. But yeah, so one thing that I will want to keep an eye on too is all the way in the back. You see that I have a pump connected to the end of the pipe system, which I usually use to flush out the pipe system. So now that I have a lot less PVC in here, whenever I turn this on, it should really clean out the bottom really nicely. So the only downside with this coral insert now is that I had to cover the drain with this piece of piping. So going forward, I basically have to use a hose and then run or siphon the water into the sump next to the tank, and then we'll just empty the tank by turning on the bead filter in discharge mode so that it will discharge the water. But yeah, so I think this is a much different look, much nicer look. And I did have fake coral before in my 270-gallon tank, but these were these little fake corals on the frags that you stick everywhere. And after a while, all of these frags turned brown because they got covered with algae. So I'm interested to know how long this will actually look as nice as it does now. Because, if this algae that you see up there, if this starts to cover, the fake coral, then this whole coral structure will also look brown. So hopefully this doesn't happen. If it does, there's actually no other choice but to take it out and scrub it with a toothbrush, which would be a pain. So yeah, I have to maybe up my filtration system. I did purchase a huge UV sterilizer. Let me see if I can show you that really quickly. It's from the company Pentair, and it's the largest one they make. You can see it maybe down here, this huge black pipe, and this will hopefully keep the water clean. Right now I have the flow set to really low because I want to combat any pests, bacteria, anything that came with these new angelfish. I did quarantine them, but there's still maybe some remnants of parasites left. So yeah, once everything is clear, I may increase the flow through the UV so that it will combat algae a little bit more efficiently. So yeah, for parasite control, you have to do low flow. For algae fighting algae, you have to do a little bit of higher flow because algae reproduces so fast that yeah, the flow through the UV has to be a little bit faster. But yeah, so let me know what you think. I think these coral inserts look cool. I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but this was quoted as a $12,000 piece because it was handmade by an artist. So it's very, very detailed. And I only paid $1,200 for it, used on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. So I got a really good deal, I would say. And it comes also with all these holes everywhere where you actually can stick real coral frags in there if you want to combine fake with real. But I'm not sure if I will do that because my salinity is a little bit too low for real coral. I keep it at 1.020. Save money on salt, and yeah, the lower the salinity, the harder it is for parasites to grow as well. So some people do 1.018 to fight ick or keep ick at bay. But yeah, there are different ways to doing it. You can increase the water temperature, which I do with my discus tank. It's over 90 degrees, so ick doesn't survive in that temperature. And I could raise this temperature probably up to 88 and still be fine. The only problem would be with the Viper Moray because he's coming from a more cooler area. He usually lives in a very deep part of the ocean and where the water is cooler. And also I noticed with this new design is that the tank is a lot brighter. So you can tell, I didn't change the light settings at all. It's exactly the same, but the tank is a lot brighter. So you know how much shadow the piping created that was sticking forward. So for moray eels, this is actually better to have a more shaded tank, especially if you want to see them come out more because they are more comfortable in a darker environment. They're also nocturnal. But these eels, they've been in here for a while. They're used to coming out during the day because I also feed during the day. And here we see the giant moray. Very nice fish. He swims the most from all my eels. And then back there we have the white-spotted bamboo shark. So I was a little bit skeptical with the angelfish because they're known to be picking on shark eyes, the eyes of the shark sometimes. But this is a shark that goes into the pipes as well, so he's not constantly exposed if that was to happen. By the way, here's the regal angel. Very nice fish. He's missing one of his fins, his right one, but it's going to slowly grow back. But I got a little bit of a discount because of that. Here we see he has no fin on the side, but it's going to grow back, so I'm not worried about that. Another fish that I may be looking to get is probably a majestic angel. That would be the only one I'm missing from one of my favorite angelfish. And then I'm probably pretty much done. I mean, these overhangs here look so nice, so maybe I will increase the salinity and get some red fire shrimp in here, and maybe add cleaner shrimp again, because the moray eels, they really enjoy being cleaned by cleaner shrimp. And the cleaner wrasses, they usually don't do well in my tank because I have no sand bed. They need the sand to sleep in at night. Some people create a little bit of a, like a sand box somewhere, like a litter box almost. But I don't think that looks nice. I mean, so I may not do that unless I can hide it somewhere in the back. But then the sand will get spilled out, and then, the risk of putting scratches in here then increases when I use my magnet cleaner. So I may just stick to invertebrates or just go without it. But also the blue spiny lobsters that I used to have that got killed by the gray bamboo shark that I rehomed, they would look nice in here too. So, but yeah, we'll see. For now, I'll probably leave it like it is, as it is, and hopefully I have no issues with these fish getting along one another. Besides the majestic angel, I may look for a raccoon butterfly, maybe a Hiniocus butterfly, and triggerfish, I'm not sure. They get pretty aggressive, and pufferfish as well. So probably stay away from those. But also don't want to overcrowd this tank either, because all these angels, or most of them, will get really big, up about to a foot. So yeah, I don't want to risk anything, overcrowding, and then you have an ick outbreak in here, and then it becomes a huge pain to treat everyone. So yeah, I may just enjoy it as it is for now. It looks really cool, I think. But yeah, this is mainly in Moray Eel tank. So I'm really going to be looking closely at how the behavior changes, if at all, how they're comfortable. One thing that they like, which is why this guy sits up there, is the flow of the tank. And because I removed this piping that was all the way on the right, I could not reinstall the wave maker that was going to the left. So I had to basically experiment a little bit with flow. What is the best way to get flow through the tank towards the bottom as well, and then into the overflow box. And basically this is the wave maker that used to be on the far right at the installed on the pipe. I position it around a little bit, put in some mysis shrimp to see how the mysis shrimp will flow and circulate in the tank, if they end up in the overflow box or not. And positioning this wave maker up there created the most current and the most circular current that will lead back into the overflow box. So that's why I keep it there. And yeah, so let's see how this tank will look in about a month. If it's going to be all covered with algae, if it's going to be all brown and nasty, but I'm not sure, so we'll see. I may increase my lighting now that I have more light penetration, and if I do that and increase the salinity a little bit, I probably could grow some real corals in there. If this all turned brown, because all this structure provides surface area for corals to grow. And one thing to keep in mind also is that even though this is fake coral, it's made out of a material that is very porous. So this fake coral actually provides biological filtration as well once the bacteria has grown on it. So similar to live rock. So it will be a part of my filtration system as well. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope you liked this video. I hope you like how this tank looks now compared to before. I'm looking forward to all these fish to get bigger, and yeah, hopefully I have no issues with the eels coexisting with the angelfish. I had angelfish before, about a year and a half ago I tried this, but back then I had a different aquascape. I had less piping, I had fewer eels but also less piping, and basically a bunch of rocks on the bottom and then some piping across. The eels would mostly be in the rock part, and then the angelfish, they kept going into the rocks as well. So the angelfish are very territorial, and what happened was that the eels then stopped eating because they started to get stressed out and intimidated by the angelfish. So kind of strange that a moray eel would get intimidated by a fish he could actually eat. But yeah, then I had to remove all of them, and then decided to add more eels. So but with this aquascape here, this is clearly not a hiding for the eels. This is clearly for the angelfish, and because this creates so much territory, so many different sections where each angelfish can claim a little spot for themselves, I don't think I will have any problem with them going into the remaining pipes and bother the eels, but we will see. So yeah, thank you again for watching this video. Hope you like this content. Hope you like how the tank looks, and I will provide you with an update, and hope to see you there as well. Thank you.